Thank you for joining me as we continue our exploration of A Course in Miracles. So today we'll be continuing our reading of chapter 21. We are in section 2. Then we'll be practicing lesson number 42 together, and then we'll be going over principle number 10 of miracles. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And so I click on Read A Course in Miracles, clicking on the text, scrolling down the table of contents to chapter 21, Reason and Perception, and then scrolling down to section 2, the responsibility for sight. Okay, paragraph 1. We have repeated how little is asked of you to learn this course. It is the same small willingness you need to have your whole relationship transformed to joy. The little gift you offer to the Holy Spirit, for which He gives you everything. The very little on which salvation rests. The tiny change of mind by which the crucifixion is changed to resurrection. And being true, it is so simple that it cannot fail to be completely understood. Rejected, yes, but not ambiguous. And if you choose against it now, it will not be because it is obscure, but rather that this little cost seemed, in your judgment, to be too much to pay for peace. Oof. Let's keep going for paragraph 2. This is the only thing that you need do for vision, happiness, release from pain, and the complete escape from sin, all to be given you. Say only this, but mean it with no reservations, for here the power of salvation lies. I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. Deceive yourself no longer that you are helpless in the face of what is done to you. Acknowledge but that you have been mistaken, and all effects of your mistakes will disappear. Okay, I'm going to pause here. I love this affirmation. I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. This is amazing. It's hard to teach 100% responsibility. But what I've said again and again is if something has occurred in our reality, something that we have experienced directly, and even when, and especially when it feels so very personal, it's because you at some level of your consciousness have allowed it to happen. You've wanted it to happen, actually. The caveat is that there is a part of your mind, however, that has forgotten that you asked for it and forgotten that you wanted it. In the one-on-one healing sessions that I do through the guidance, when somebody has presented a grievance or an upset, something that they don't have 100% peace around, something that they don't have joy around, we begin by asking, what is the purpose of this? The second question is, how is it helping? Actually, how is it helping the soul? And inevitably, as we ask, it is given. There is some kind of answer on the other side of that, and it reveals to us the true purpose. And the true purpose is usually for attention, to slow down, to be still, to bring more love, to share God's vision, to turn your face to God's wisdom, to God's love. It's never what we think it is when we experience it through the personality. When the personality has a tantrum, it says, why is this happening to me? I'm a good person. I'm a caring person. I'm a giving person. And yet these unpleasant things, somebody could treat you badly, something can go wrong in the day. And so the personality asks, why me? What did I do to deserve this? And so really the question is, what is this for? How can I use this to wake me up to something? And so then to that, how is it helping me actually? But this is so amazing. This is so great because this is really bringing home 100% responsibility. If somebody doesn't treat you in the way that you like, doesn't behave in the way that you like, it's not them, it's you on some level of your consciousness, on some level of our consciousness. We've asked them to be that for us. We've asked them to play their part. And so then what's great about it is that then we can start to hear our judgment thoughts about it, what we would want them to do in order for us to be happy. And then that teaches us how to live. That's our prescription to live. And I've mentioned the work in previous videos before, Byron Katie's The Work. And that's a great little practice to help bring about those realizations. It's an active meditation and inquiry. But also what's helpful is that when we ask, it is given. When we ask and we're in the stillness, we can receive the answers and we can share a higher perspective, a symbolic perspective that frees us and gives us space for joy. It's true. Paragraph 2, this is the only thing that you need do for vision, happiness, release from pain, and the complete escape from sin. Sin means lovelessness, remember? All to be given you. So good, so amazing. And then it says, deceive yourself no longer that you are helpless in the face of what is done to you. You're not a victim to your lives. We are not victims to our lives. Oh, there's so much here. Okay, so let me share the screen again and we'll go on to paragraph 3. It is impossible the Son of God be merely driven by events outside of him. It is impossible that happenings that come to him were not his choice. His power of decision is the determiner of every situation in which he seems to find himself by chance or accident. No accident nor chance is possible within the universe as God created it, outside of which is nothing. Suffer, and you decided sin was your goal. Be happy, and you gave the power of decision to him who must decide for God for you. This is the little gift you offer to the Holy Spirit, and even this he gives to you to give yourself. For by this gift is given you the power to release your Savior, that he may give salvation unto you. Let's continue for paragraph 4. Begrudge not then this little offering. Withhold it, and you keep the world as now you see it. Give it away, and everything you see goes with it. Never was so much given for so little. In the holy instant is this exchange effected and maintained. Here is the world you do not want brought to the one you do. And here the one you do is given you because you want it. Yet for this, the power of your wanting must first be recognized. You must accept its strength and not its weakness. You must perceive that what is strong enough to make a world can let it go and can accept correction if it is willing to see that it was wrong. Let's keep going for paragraph 5. The world you see is but the idle witness that you were right. This witness is insane. You trained it in its testimony, and as it gave it back to you, you listened and convinced yourself that what it saw was true. You did this to yourself. See only this, and you will also see how circular the reasoning on which your seeing rests. This was not given you. This was your gift to you and to your brother. Be willing then to have it taken from him and be replaced with truth. And as you look upon the change in him, it will be given you to see it in yourself. I want to keep going, so let's continue for paragraph 6. Perhaps you do not see the need for you to give this little offering. Look closer then at what it is, and very simply, see in it the whole exchange of separation for salvation. And very simply, see in it the whole exchange of separation for salvation. All that the ego is an idea that it is possible that things could happen to the Son of God without his will, and thus without the will of his Creator, whose will cannot be separate from his own. This is the Son of God's replacement for his will, a mad revolt against what must forever be. This is the statement that he has the power to make God powerless, and so to take it for himself and leave himself without what God has willed for him. This is the mad idea you have enshrined upon your altars and which you worship. And anything that threatens this seems to attack your faith, for here it is invested. Think not that you are faithless, for your belief and trust in this is strong indeed. Oh, it's so good. All right, so I think it's enough. I think this is what I was waiting for. I was waiting for this part that says here in paragraph 6, all that the ego is an idea that it is possible that things could happen to the Son of God without his will, and thus without the will of his Creator, whose will cannot be separate from his own. It's enough. This needs to be highlighted. We are not victims of our lives. We're not victims to situations that we would call or label or say creates a victim. We're not. Somehow, everything that's unfolding in our lives has a purpose, and the purpose is important. It's helping us in some way. When we start asking about soul purpose, some of us came here simply to experience the contrast and the paradoxes of what it is to be here and to be a human being, to experience the cold and to experience the heat, to experience abundance and to experience lack, to experience pain and to experience freedom from pain. We came here to experience that which is unloving so that we can remember that what we are is a source of love, and that it's possible to bring love into that which is unloving. So some of us came here just simply to experience. Some of us came to experience specific types of themes in order for us then to, again, be ourselves, which is love, to see how well we do when things don't go well. Things go, from the ego's point of view, badly. So to think that that which is outside of us is outside of our will, the Course is telling us that's crazy, because nothing outside of our will can exist, because nothing outside the will of God can exist, and our will and God's will are the same, actually. This is so well revealed in the quantum healing hypnosis work. I can't emphasize that enough. It becomes very clear that the themes that and the traumas, the upsets, the suffering, the physical pain, the diagnoses, the conditions all have a purpose, and the purpose is helping your soul in some way. And part of the freedom from the suffering is realizing just that it has a purpose and that the purpose is important. In the line of questioning that I do, one of the questions then is, what is it that she needs to realize? What is it that she needs to remember? What is it she needs to understand? What is it that she needs to embody in order to have peace around this? Or I ask, what is it? What is it that she needs to realize, or what needs to happen in order for her to have 100% peace around this given situation? And I hope you can see the humor in this paragraph, in paragraph 6. I hope you share it, that believing that the external world, that we are victims to the external world, the happenings of the external world, that it's a mad revolt that then renders God powerless. That in and of itself actually is a separation device from God. You can see that actually. And so hence this is the mad idea. This idea that you are victims to the external world, that you haven't co-created it. You have enshrined upon your altars, because what we find is that people defend their victimhood, they defend their victim stories. They often, in fact, even connect through their love relationships through what I've come to learn through the kids is now called trauma bonding. So they keep their pain, they hold it, and then they lead their beloved to the shrine and show them their pain body and say, look, this is how you have to treat me, and this is how you have to take care of me, because this awful thing happened to me. And so now I'm including you, and I'm entrusting you with this this gift of pain. And people like it somehow. They like it. They like to feel bonded or connected through these pain stories. In fact, I've even seen it play out where some people seek to make other people cry. And that's when they feel like they've connected emotionally and can be a source of solace. Perhaps that actually is a device of the rescuer. It could be, actually, as I'm thinking on it. I've got other programs where we go deep into the archetype work, and that's fascinating also. All right, let's stick with our program. So, yeah, so anyway, I hope you can share the humor here. Uh, yeah, so it says, so you, it seems to attack your faith, but your religion is that you are a victim to the world that you were born into. And finally, it says, think not that you are faithless, for your belief and trust in this is strong indeed. Do you hear it? Do you feel the humor? Okay, let's continue. Oh, I have to share the screen. Let me do that, and then we will continue with paragraph 7. Okay. The Holy Spirit can give you faith in holiness and vision to see it easily enough. But you have not left open and unoccupied the altar where the gifts belong. Where they should be, you have set up your idols to something else. This other will, which seems to tell you what must happen, you give reality. And what would show you otherwise must therefore seem unreal. All that is asked of you is to make room for truth. You are not asked to make or do what lies beyond your understanding. All you're asked to do is let it in. only to stop your interference with what will happen of itself, simply to recognize again the presence of what you thought you gave away. Let's keep going for paragraph 8. Be willing for an instant to leave your altars free of what you placed upon them, and what is really there you cannot fail to see. The holy instant is not an instant of creation, but of recognition. For recognition comes of vision and suspended judgment. Then only it is possible to look within and see what must be there, plainly in sight and wholly independent of inference and judgment. Undoing is not your task, but it is up to you to welcome it or not. Faith and desire go hand in hand, for everyone believes in what he wants. Okay, my only thing that I want to share here is that we're being invited to make a commitment, just to be willing to see differently, to see ourselves as responsible for our lives and for what seems to unfold outside of us. But what we've talked about before too is that nothing can exist outside of your conscious awareness. And it's deep too, because it's like having a night dream and then being the character in the night dream and then feeling like you don't have control and that you're a victim to the unfolding happenings within the night dream. But again, once we wake up, we cannot unknow that that was a dream. None of it was real. The dream self wasn't real. The environment wasn't real. What happened wasn't real. And so too is this true of this lifetime now. This is another level of dreamscape. And it just has the appearance of chronology, that every night we die out of it, and every morning we wake back up into it, and somehow we get fully downloaded. Our memories get fully downloaded. This little life gets fully downloaded, and then off we go again. All right, so let's continue. I'm going to share the screen again for paragraph 9. We have already said that wishful thinking is how the ego deals with what it wants to make it so. There is no better demonstration of the power of wanting, and therefore of faith, to make its goals seem real and possible. Faith in the unreal leads to adjustments of reality to make it fit the goal of madness. The goal of sin induces the perception of a fearful world to justify its purpose. What you desire, you will see. And if its reality is false, you will uphold it by not realizing all the adjustments you have introduced to make it so. Let's continue for paragraph 10. When vision is denied, confusion of cause and effect becomes inevitable, right? The purpose now becomes to keep obscure the cause of the effect and make effect appear to be a cause. This seeming independence of effect enables it to be regarded as standing by itself and capable of serving as a cause of the events and feelings its maker thinks it causes. Earlier, we spoke of your desire to create your own creator and be father and not son to him. This is the same desire. The son is the effect whose cause he would deny. And so he seems to be the cause producing real effects. Nothing can have effects without a cause, and to confuse the two is merely to fail to understand them both. So it's asking us to pay attention to where we put our wanting. So when we put our wanting on the mundane, on the material, we are misaligning our wanting. Oh, hi. I have a little wanting here. Do you want to come up? You want to say hi? Do you want to come up? Do you? Come on. You want to? Do you want to say? Here he is. Say hi. Yeah. This is wanting. Right. Oh, you're so handsome. Oh, you're such a good boy. So, so what we realized is that there is no such thing as an interruption. There's only ever where we put our attention, right? Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. Thanks for your kisses. Oh, thanks. Okay, where were we? Let me go back to share the screen, I think. Okay, so we are now in paragraph 11. It is as needful that you recognize you made the world you see, as that you recognize that you did not create yourself. They are the same mistake. Nothing created not by your creator has any influence over you. And if you think what you have made can tell you what you see and feel, and place your faith in its ability to do so, you are denying your creator and believing that you made yourself. For if you think the world you made has power to make you what it wills, you are confusing son and father, effect and source. So good. We will continue with paragraph 12. The son's creations are like his father's, yet in creating them, the son does not delude himself that he is independent of his source. His union with it is the source of his creating. Apart from this, he has no power to create, and what he makes is meaningless. It changes nothing in creation, depends entirely upon the madness of its maker, and cannot serve to justify the madness. Your brother thinks he made the world with you. Thus, he denies creation. With you, he thinks the world he made him. Thus, he denies he made it. Okay, just to summarize what I'm getting out of this paragraph. So, what I'm getting is that there's a contrast between true creation that is in connection with our divine creator versus the creation that the ego makes. And that creation is based on projection, perception, and sin. The irony here is that the ego mind thinks that it made the world. Thus, he ignores altogether true creation and true connection with the divine, the true source, the true cause, and thinks that the world he made him, and thus he denies taking responsibility for the world that he made because he is an effect of that creation, which really just seems to point to the ever spiraling madness of the egoic mind. I'm going to go back to share the screen for paragraph 13. Hopefully we get some relief here. Yet the truth is, you and your brother were both created by a loving Father who created you together and as one. See what proves otherwise, and you deny your whole reality. But grant that everything that seems to stand between you and your brother, keeping you from each other and separate from your father, you made in secret, and the instant of release has come to you. All its effects are gone because its source has been uncovered. It is its seeming independence of its source that keeps you prisoner. This is the same mistake as thinking you're independent of the source by which you were created and have never left. Okay, it's enough to just remember that no matter what our ego tells us, what our little mind thinks it knows, we are still at home in the mind of the infinite great creator. Nothing exists outside of the creator's mind. We are, the Course calls us a little mad idea. A little mad idea. Oh, goodness. But all we need is our little willingness, according to A Course in Miracles. Okay, so I'm going to go back to share again. We're going now to practice our lesson together. So now I click on the workbook. We're typing in lesson 42. And we are going to listen to the narrator read it for us.
Lesson 42. God is my strength. Vision is his gift. The idea for today combines two very powerful thoughts, both of major importance. It also sets forth a cause and effect relationship that explains why you cannot fail in your efforts to achieve the goal of the course. You will see, because it is the will of God. It is his strength, not your own, that gives you power. And it is his gift, rather than your own, that offers vision to you. God is indeed your strength, and what he gives is truly given. This means that you can receive it anytime and anywhere, wherever you are, and in whatever circumstance you find yourself. Your passage through time and space is not at random. You cannot but be in the right place at the right time. Such is the strength of God. Such are his gifts. We will have 2 3 to 5 minute practice periods today. One as soon as possible after you wake, and another as close as possible to the time you go to sleep. It is better, however, to wait until you can sit quietly by yourself at a time when you feel ready than it is to be concerned with the time as such. Begin these practice periods by repeating the idea for today slowly, with your eyes open, looking about you. Then close your eyes and repeat the idea again, even slower than before. After this, try to think of nothing except thoughts that occur to you in relation to the idea for the day. You might think, for example, vision must be possible. God gives truly. Or, God's gifts to me must be mine because he gave them to me. Any thought that is clearly related to the idea for today is suitable. You may in fact be astonished at the amount of course-related understanding some of your thoughts contain. Let them come without censoring, unless you find your mind is merely wandering and you have let obviously irrelevant thoughts intrude. You may also reach a point where no thoughts at all seem to come to mind. If such interferences occur, open your eyes and repeat the thought once more while looking slowly about. Close your eyes, repeat the idea once more, and then continue to look for related thoughts in your mind. Remember, however, that active searching for relevant thoughts is not appropriate for today's exercises. Try merely to step back and let the thoughts come. If you find this difficult, it is better to spend the practice period alternating between slow repetitions of the idea with eyes open, then with eyes closed, than it is to strain to find suitable thoughts. There is no limit on the number of short practice periods that would be beneficial today. The idea for the day is a beginning step in bringing thoughts together and teaching you that you are studying a unified thought system in which nothing is lacking that is needed, and nothing is included that is contradictory or irrelevant. The more often you repeat the idea during the day, the more often you will be reminding yourself that the goal of the course is important to you and that you have not forgotten it.
Fabulous. All right, so today we will practice together for 3 minutes. Again, the practice period begins with eyes open, repeating the idea, and then closing your eyes as you let related thoughts come to mind. If at any time you need to open your eyes again to look at the language for today's lesson, you can go ahead and do that. So go ahead and share the screen again. And as I look for the timer, just remember that this is a meditation, a little mini meditation. So you might want to just start to bring your attention home here to the body and to the unconditional loving support that's here. The support of the floor, the support of the furniture, the support of the air, aware of your own body, grateful for your very existence, and actively noticing that you have everything you need to be alive right now, to exist in this moment. So you can really just relax and focus on what's in front. All right, so I'm finding our timer. So we're going to do 3 minutes, like I said. I'm going to, again, share the screen for the language. Okay, so with eyes open, looking slowly about, you're repeating the idea for today's lesson. God is my strength. Vision is his gift. Then you close your eyes and see what supporting thoughts bubble up. For example, vision must be possible. God gives truly. Or God's gifts to me must be mine because he gave them to me. All right, nice and relaxed. Shoulders falling away from the ears, exhaling, maybe even smiling. Timer starting now. And so again, as you're looking around, you're repeating to yourself, God is my strength. Vision is his gift. And then when you're ready, let your eyelids rest over your eyes and see what thoughts occur in response to this idea. That's our timer. Okay, good. And so the invitation, the instructions say that as the practice period for today, which is 3 to 5 minutes, you can set a timer, is to be done soon upon waking and then again as close to bedtime as possible. And then there are shorter practice periods throughout the day where you can just simply repeat today's idea. God is my strength. Vision is his gift. All right, so let us now go. Oh, actually, what I wanted to share with you was that one of the thoughts that bubbled up was that vision is his gift, and that to use that gift to share God's vision. So I thought I would just share that with you. All right, so I'm going to go back to share the screen again. Okay, here we go. And now we're going to look at our principle of miracles. So I'm clicking on the text, chapter 1, the meaning of miracles, the principle of miracles. And today we are at number 10. And as I've said before, you can screenshot the principle and refer to it as an additional thing to contemplate, to meditate on. So, principle 10. The use of miracles as spectacles to induce belief is a misunderstanding of their purpose. Okay, and so the previous principle talked about miracles because miracles are love, that they have the power to change, alter natural laws, natural physics. So it can then have the appearance of that which is supernatural or metaphysical. And so if what this is saying is if you're using miracles as a way to like a carnival, like a show, then you're missing the point of it. So what I would want to say, or what's coming to me, is that love is inherently humble, and what we are is love, and it's simply just a sharing and a bestowal, and that's what it is for. And prayer is one way that we can do that. So before we finish up, I also want to just come back to the paragraph from today's reading and to perhaps take a screenshot of that as well. So let me bring that up for you again. I will go ahead and share my screen again. So here, take a screenshot of this affirmation, I suppose. And again, the instructions are, this is the only thing that you need do for vision, happiness, release from pain, and the complete escape from sin. Again, sin meaning lovelessness, that which is unloving, all to be given you. It's taking ownership. It's taking 100% responsibility. I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. Amazing. You are welcome to share this with others as well. Because this is also about manifestation and creation. And the wisest of teachers remind us that physical reality is an effect of mind. And so once we harness our ability to pay attention, to set intentions, then when our intentions are solid and strong, then energy flows, energy follows that intention, our attention, and then our biology goes. And this is how we create in this lifetime. This is how we create in this time-space reality using the plasticine of this world. I'm also reminded of when I did a yoga retreat after doing a trek in Nepal prior to every yoga class. And we had several yoga classes in a day, but he would remind us to see in our minds what we're about to do so that we could have a clear intent. And as I said, one of the key expressions that the Eastern Healing Arts teaches us is that where our attention, our intention goes, energy flows. Where our energy flows, our biology goes. And this is really one of the foundational premises, wisdoms, truths that is what has the Eastern Healing Arts working, because any of the self-care practices are that in action. That's what they are. They're putting your attention on the body where you lay your hands, the energy flows where you put your attention, and then your biology goes. It starts to balance, it starts to harmonize, and then you create the conditions for miracles and healing. So to that, this is why I say, please join either the meditation class, the monthly meditation class. It's on the third Tuesday of the month, usually. If you can't join in person, the registration link is there on the website, www.elilacenter.org, or join the Monday, the fourth Monday of the month, meditation and natural healing self-help class, because that's where we're doing combination. Usually is a combination of Reiki and Jin Shin Jutsu, but it doesn't really matter. It's just simply paying attention, laying our hands with a loving intent, being open, being willing to create the conditions for miracles, to bring more love there, to create change, to bring balance where needed, harmony where needed, to replenish, restore, strengthen. And we're reminded, today's lesson reminds us that God is our strength. I think that concludes our video for today. Thank you again for joining with me. Please share in the comments any of your own personal direct experiences with what we've practiced so far, or any of the lessons. Feel free to share any resistance, anything that doesn't make sense. Again, this is just an experiment. I'm learning along with you. I just have a breadth of experience through the Eastern Healing Arts, through the quantum healing hypnosis, and just working with energy and greater states of consciousness and so on. So, all right, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.